Welcome to the how-to video for navigating the Marketing Toolkit. The toolkit has a number of customizable templates for you to work with, as well as other files that can help your sales and marketing efforts. Let's start with the basics. If you haven't already, put the thumb drive that came with your toolkit into one of the USB slots on your computer. Once you've done that, open the folder by using the screen that pops up. If you're on a Mac, you'll simply see the thumb drive appear on your desktop. If you didn't see the screen come up, go to Start, and then My Computer, and then look for the drive. Here it's called NPCA Toolkit F. If you don't see it there, try unplugging the thumb drive and plugging it back in. On my screen, we're now inside of the toolkit. The first folder that you should look through is the Guidelines Instructions folder. There are 2 PDFs inside this folder that will tell you everything you need to know about using the toolkit and the hows and whys of each of the elements. I strongly encourage you to review these documents before you do anything else. If you cannot open the PDF files, you'll need to download Adobe Reader. It's a free program and you can get it from Adobe's website. As we scroll through the guidelines document here, you'll see there's a number of items for you to review. First is about these guidelines. Next, we have information about the position statement of the campaign as well as usage tips. Next, we have information about the messaging and the 4 keywords as well as additional usage tips. The next 2 slides are about the typography and fonts for the campaign, as well as some key terms. There's also information about the photography used for the campaign, the colors used for the campaign and the whys, the textures used for the campaign and what not to use. The next 2 pages are implementation, and I strongly encourage you to review these pages closely. And finally, contact information for NPCA. Okay, let's go ahead and close this document, and then let's open up the toolkit instructions. It's very important that you take the time to review this document before you begin. The first page has a checklist of items that you'll need in order to develop the templates. I strongly encourage you to make sure you can check everything on this list. Next is information about the messaging, the creative, more creative, and then simply how to build templates in Microsoft Word. These are some good tips and tricks, and in addition to this, I've created a second how-to video on how to create a template from Word. I strongly encourage you to watch that as well. Okay, let's go ahead and close this document. Now let's go back 1 folder, and let's look at the second folder from where we opened Customize Your Toolkit. The very first thing you'll need to do is install the campaign fonts. If you don't do that, nothing else will work. Once we open the fonts folder, you'll see that there are 2 zipped files. You will need to unzip these. I use a free program called Stuffit Expander that you can get online. Once I click on this, you'll see Stuffit Expander open. I'll click OK. It'll unzip the files. I'll hit Done, close the program, and now I can go into the Museo Slab Family folder. Inside of there, I'll see the fonts used for the campaign, and I can open each one, click Install, then Close, and go on and do the next one. When I'm done with this folder, I'll go back, I'll expand the Museo Slab Complete font. I will go into each one of those fonts, install them as well, and then I'm done. Going back 1 level, I'm going to skip over 2 folders that have customizable pieces in them and show you the other folders first. So let's skip Build a Brochure and let's go into Case Studies. Case studies are a fantastic way to show potential customers why your product is so great by giving them real-life examples and a quote from one of their peers. It creates a story that will resonate with your potential customers. I promise you can build a case study in a half hour or less with the information in your office and a call or email to a customer for a quote. Here you'll find some examples of case studies that NPCA has done to use as inspiration for your own case studies. Let's go ahead and close this PDF. Going back 1 folder again, we'll skip Create an Ad and go into Images. Inside Images, you'll find all the renderings used for the campaign. The good news is these are all preloaded into the customizable templates. You don't need to do anything more with this folder unless you want to use the images for something other than what's in the toolkit. If you do, feel free to use them. To show you what they look like, I'm going to open Architecture. It opens a campaign rendering, and I can then use this for any purpose I have. Otherwise, I can simply close this and go back and not worry about this folder. The next folder is the Message Matrix folder. Inside of here, you'll find 2 documents that are identical, a PDF and a Word document. The Word document is simply for you to easily copy and paste anything that you want to use from the message matrix. I'm going to open the PDF. This document is a culmination of a lot of research done by the marketing agency. In here you'll find counterpoints to a lot of the negative things that the competition says about Precast. Share this document with anyone in your office that talks to customers or the general public. Inside this file, the product is identified in the left column and the topics are covered across the top in blue. The first page has overall messages about Precast. Each page after that covers specific products with the 6 topics repeated each time across the top in blue. On page 2 we have manholes, then curb inlets and catch basins, and so on, all the way through all the different product lines that we've identified as the top sellers for NPCA members. Let's go ahead and close this document. Going back one folder again, we'll now go into the Take a New Look graphic. If you already have some marketing pieces, whether it's printed pieces or your website, and you simply want to use the logo to drive people to the online home of the campaign, this is where you'll find that. Inside either one of these folders, you'll find all the different colors saved into 2 file formats. If you don't already, go ahead and switch to extra large icon by clicking on the down arrow and then extra large icons. And you can see all the different colors it's saved, including a complete white version for use on a colored background. Jumping back to the main folder, we can now go into talking points. The talking points cover the details of each of our 4 keywords. This is another great document to share with anyone who talks with customers or the general public if you are going to use this campaign. The document is again saved as a Word file for easy copying and pasting. In the PDF you'll see a number of pages that cover brains, brawn, looks, and class, the 4 key elements of the campaign. Let's go ahead and close this document. Jumping back one folder again, the next item we'll look at is the campaign video. The video is a short video that you can use for lunch and learns, presentations on your website, or wherever else you deem it worthy. It's saved as an MP4 file as well as a Windows Media file. Jumping back again, we'll go into web banner ads. The banner ads are semi-customizable, but you will need Adobe Photoshop in order to customize them. If you don't have Photoshop, I would recommend working with an agency that can help you out. Inside the examples folder, you'll see all the different versions of the banner ads and what they can possibly look like. Each of the red numbers identifies a spot that's customizable for you. Closing the examples, there's also a PDF back one folder with instructions on how to use the web banner ads. If you're going to use them, I strongly recommend reading this document as well. Let's close that, and now let's go into the working files. Inside the working files, you'll find a folder for each one of the campaign images. Inside is 4 different size banners. These files are not customizable in Word, as I mentioned before, so you will either need Adobe Photoshop or to get help from a designer. They are very easy to use if you have Photoshop. It's just plug and play with your logo. There's also a folder for banners with no campaign images in them. These files simply have the campaign messages. Alright, let's jump back to the ads and the brochures, the 2 files I skipped before. Starting with Create an Ad, let's take a look in here. The first folder is the ad copy. You will not need to use this because all of this copy has already been built into the ads. So let's go back. Again, at the bottom there's instructions that I strongly encourage you to review. And then there's also examples for each of the different sizes with, again, the same red numbers for where you can customize your pieces. Let's go back and let's open the working files. The 2 customizable files have both InDesign and Word files. Unless you have InDesign already installed on your computer and know how to use it, or use a third-party design firm, I recommend you use the Word files. In here you have templates for each of the campaign images already built in for you. All you need to do is simply fill in the information for your company and you're done. Inside the architecture folder, for example, you'll see that the full, half, vertical, and trade press templates are already ready to go. Each one of these works the exact same. You just open it and customize it based on the instructions in the example and the instructions in the document. Going back to the main level, we'll now look into the Build a Brochure file. Inside of here you'll see the same setup. You have your examples, your instructions, and again your working files with both InDesign and Word. Looking in Word, again we have each of the campaign images, and if I go into any one of these, for example box culvert, you'll see a 2-page, a 4-page, and a 4-page second version for the box culvert. Each of the folders has the same thing. Let's go back. Going back to the very first screen that we saw, NPCA Toolkit F, you've now seen the entire campaign. If you have any questions, the contact information for NPCA is in your toolkit. Thanks for watching this how-to video.